All right. Before I get started, I want to try to do something here with my. Nope, that's not it. Okay. So what this is just like the title says, the call to all free men and women in the U.S. This is very simple. I'm going to try to not overstate anything. It's 2014. We're coming up on Christmas next month. We're in the U.S. Okay, that should be better. Sorry. So I'm going to try to get some of the features to work here on Google Hangouts. This is the call to all free men and women here in the U.S. We all see our country circling the drain together. You can plainly see that it's by a ruling class that does not care about us. They refuse to represent us, whether it is in Florida and there's a 90-year-old veteran that wants to feed homeless people. The ruling class says no, so they sick the police on the situation. Now, the policemen should obviously be ashamed. But I think the larger thing here is that the public doesn't want that. That doesn't represent us. That doesn't represent our wishes. And that's what we're seeing across the board, on the state levels and on the federal levels, everywhere. So what I want to do is what I always tell people is, do not believe me. That doesn't make any sense. Most anyone who will hear this does not know me. So I want you to discern for yourself. Is your government, is your ruling class your enemy or not? Okay. I'm going to tell you that they are, and I'm going to show you a couple examples real quick. All right. I hope what you're seeing is the UnitedNations.org website. This isn't my website. I didn't, this is their stuff. And this is the section on the disarmament for ATT, which is the Arms Trade Treaty. Okay. You want to know what your ruling class thinks of you? You want to know how they're thinking about you? Are you interested to know how they think about you and how they consider you? The Land Arms Trade Treaty, ATT, regulating the international trade in conventional arms, from small arms, which means guns, all the way down to pistols, to battle tanks, combat aircraft, and warship, will enter into force on the 24th of December, 2014. Will enter into force on Christmas Eve. Small arms. If you're not familiar with what this is the agreement between all the UN countries that have signed and agreed to it and voted on it, that every single country will be disarmed, the civilian populations, that nobody should have their any right to any guns, because guns cause all the problems. These are the same people that have armed guards when they tell us this. With guns, they have guns. This goes into inadequate controls on arms transferred, and it even talks about you're not allowed to have the parts to make any weaponry. It even talks about going and how it is the different programs that they use to take the guns away. How many states have signed the treaty? That's not U.S. states. That's nation states. So let's see how many have signed it, and let's see if the U.S. is on it. Remember, this is a resolution to take away all firearms and all means of defense. That's what this is. And you can look it up, but we want you to look it up yourself. United States of America, signed on the 25th of September, 2003. So let's go back and see how many states have ratified the treaty as well. These are nation states. This is the UN website. Remember this. 25th September 2013. So it's already been signed and ratified by the US. That's what your government thinks about you. That's what your government thinks about your freedoms, thinks about your Second Amendment right. If you're not familiar with NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act declares us terrorists, Americans. And then since then, they've passed legislation through Obama that says they can kill us. And they can kill us on American soil. And now we have drones in our skies above us. So, and we didn't ask for that. We didn't want that. And they do not care. I have a million examples, whether it's Florida or it's the United Nations website, or, I have a million examples, period, of how your ruling class does not represent you and they do not care to. They have been your outspoken enemy. I am aware that this sounds like alarmist speech. This sounds like extremist. We're going to go blow up buildings. No, we're not. We're not going to blow up anything because it's our buildings. Those are our buildings. We're not going to blow up our own stuff. We're going to remove people, and we're going to talk about that. So we're already in contact. A bunch of us here in Central Ohio are in contact with people all through the state and throughout the nation. And I want to mention those names later, but I want everyone to know that this video is intended for everyone, whether you're a private citizen, a militia, a patriot organization, a rally organization, anonymous, sovereign citizens, the different biker organizations that rally on September 11th that go down to Washington, D.C., the Second Amendment citizens, any militia, any group, and then any person, anybody at all. This is our country, and it is being taken from us. It's almost gone completely in many ways. And I don't know what kind of country we're leaving other people. I know that I wouldn't want to live in it. So this is going to be how we get it back. This is going to be my ideas on how we get it back. And my ideas may not be worth anything, maybe just your consideration for you to say, okay, whatever, but I am a community organizer. I help to run a successful organization here in Ohio. And I've been able to speak to so many like-minded people. I know I'm speaking on behalf of quite a few in the central area when I say most of this. That being said, I did this video not under our organization. I did it so that everyone is aware that this video is my thoughts. These are my opinions. This is what I think. And if you share this, I've spoken to a few people. If you share this notion with me, these notions with me, let me know. And we're about to get into the meat of it. Even if you don't share these notions, you have the freedom to let me know. I don't know why you would, but you can. I want to discuss two major issues and what we can do about it. I want to discuss this two different ways. Let me say that. And this piggybacks off of a video from earlier a little bit. This video is also addressed to any police officers. I want people to send this video out to the DC police. Send this out to all law enforcement. Send this out to all authorities. Send this out to all rally I don't care if it's a rally organization for End the Fed, and another one is anti-Monsanto, and another one is Citizens to Repeal Common Core. All of them, everybody. The Ohio Patriot Bikers, any of the Patriot Bikers, the militias. Whether it's 3% or Minutemen or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is for all of us. We can see where our country is headed. And here's the thing. We can do a lot about it. We've been told that we can't. It's just not true. It's just not true. Imagine, picture this, wherever it is you live, whatever the major city that's closest to you. Picture 100 people standing in the street. The major street, the busy streets, downtown area. It's going to disrupt some traffic. Now picture 1,000. They're everywhere, disrupting a lot more traffic. Now picture 100,000. Now, or the entire city, however many people are in that city. Because when we stop commerce from happening, and we all decide to say, whether we're Republican, Democrat, black, white, man, woman, it doesn't matter. We all decide to say, this is enough. This is my community. This is my country. We're all sharing the same space, and we can do something about it. We can absolutely stand here with our neighbors, with our friends, with our families, with our coworkers, with the people that we know, with everyone that we see on a daily basis. We can all stand together. It doesn't matter what you personally believe. We want our country back, and we can do something about it. This video will be part of a manual as to how, in a way, at least this is what I believe, and this is what I've discussed with people. So if you paid attention to the DC marches on November 5th, there were cops touching everybody. Whether it was a simple nudge with the arm, or they were grabbing them, or they were trying to hit them with a baton. Now listen, I know the argument, okay? Well, they were probably doing something illegal, whatever. If we go down there and decide to march on a Wednesday, and they tell us that we can't go and walk up the steps to the Thomas Jefferson Memorial or whatever it is, when we would have been able to on any other day, they've just created a free speech zone, and it won't be tolerated by free men and women. We're not going to be treated like this. Okay? The fact that any of you have decided to submit your rights, that's okay. We haven't. And you're going to see what free men and women look like. You can stand to the side and watch, or you can join. Now, those police have no right to put their hands on anybody, period. They don't. They shouldn't be putting their hands on anybody, and they shouldn't be setting up those barricades with the temporary free speech zones. That's exactly what that is. If you treat us like we're some kind of prisoners in our own neighborhood, we're not going to tolerate it. So I say, the next time everybody goes down to DC, we make a rule that everybody comes home. Everybody comes home. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're there with us and we see an officer approach you like they're going to arrest you or touch you in any kind of a way, everybody swarm that area immediately, get in on that area, pull the person or people that are being arrested or detained or brutalized or assaulted or whatever it is, pull them away, push the cops away, make sure everybody's divided so that whoever our people are, they can get back into the crowd and dissolve and get home. I say we make that a rule. I say everybody comes home. Nobody gets arrested. Nobody gets beat down. Everybody comes home. They've got no right to put their damn hands on us like that. I couldn't believe the videos I was seeing. I couldn't believe it. And I also couldn't believe how people were tolerating that much abuse. I think some of the protesters may have gotten where they were excited and may have been in the wrong in some instances, but every damn video I saw, those police were way too touchy-feely. That shit's not going to, that's going to stop. That's going to stop. We're not going to tolerate that any longer as far as I'm concerned. I say we change that. I say that's bullshit. That's not why we're going down there. We're going down there for the opposite reason, to express freedom, to show them what free men and women look like and sound like, to get our damn country back. That's all we want. We want our freaking country back. We want normal human beings in those positions, you know? We want to change how this is happening. We want to change, the direction of us spiraling the freaking drain. You know, we can see what's going on, and it doesn't matter what you're thinking, who you are, as far as a party line or anything else, man. It doesn't matter. All of us normal working family people, the blue-collar working stiffs and the white-collar working stiffs and all of us, we all see the same damn thing. This isn't even the same country it was 20 freaking years ago. What in the hell do you think we're leaving? And if we don't do anything about it, that's fine. That's another choice that we can make. But I want you to consider how our generation will be considered in the future. People will only know us as weak. They will only know us as the weakest generation that squandered the greatest country you could ever inherit by birth. We're not like the rest of the world. This country is not to be taken for granted. I don't give a damn who you are. It's not. Once we get control back of our country, then we can start to decide how we want to do things. The ruling class hasn't represented us in so damn long. It's been so long. Can you imagine what we could do if we could get normal folks like yourself, normal people like us in there? Because we don't want all the crap that they do. We want to be able to feed homeless folks and then get those people off the streets. They're not making those kind of efforts. Every time you hear about some program that they have for the homeless, it's a war on homelessness. It's crazy. They're talking about detaining them and putting them in FEMA camps. Let me tell you something. If you hear any damn thing about a FEMA camp, you need to do two things immediately. First, get it out to everybody. Get the pictures, get the video, get any bit of information you can get out to the world. Then get as many people as you can to ram those damn gates with vehicles and get our people the hell out of there. What in the hell is going on? We're not going to tolerate shit like this. And you're damn right we'll break unjust laws. You got no right to put your freaking hands on us. You got no right to sit there and hit us with nightsticks. And you sure as hell aren't going to lock up homeless people for being homeless. We want our country back. This doesn't represent any of us. We want our country back, and we're hell bent on getting it back. I say this is how we do it. I say we change the rules of the game. What do you believe? What do you think? You think it's okay to go ahead and go down there and get your ass whooped and watch your friend go to jail and then have all these, every time somebody gets their ass kicked by a police officer, look at Cop Block, right? Every time they get their ass kicked by a police officer, they charge that person with assault on a police officer. They charged one guy, they charged him with a crime because he bled on their uniform. This is insanity. We're not doing this anymore. The rules are changing. Send this out to everybody. Unless you think this video isn't worth anything, then just, forget you ever saw it. We're going to do this a couple of ways, though. All right? It's not just this militant point of view. Because, look, the cops are not our enemies. They're not. Hell, that's not even what we're in D.C. for. We're not there for the police. We're there for a ruling class. Let's show the police true numbers, real numbers, actual American old-fashioned solidarity. Here's what I say. Every single patriot biker group, every single protest organization, rally organization, anonymous, sovereign citizens. I don't care who you are. Every single citizen, if you are able-bodied, let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it. Let's get our country back. Let's get down to D.C. But because the cops aren't, and let's do it together. Everybody, descend. Why not? We do it on the 4th of July. And when we get there, see, any parent, when they have this discussion with their child and their child says, so-and-so was doing something I didn't like. Well, then you tell them, well, baby, what you do is you tell them, hey, I don't like that. And then if they continue to, you remove yourself from the situation, or if you can't, you react accordingly. You do what you have to do to end that behavior. This video serves the purpose of giving warning and notice. You're not going to put your hands on us like that anymore. It's not going to happen. Those days are done. What you can do as a police force, whether it's federal, state, I don't care. Whatever authorities, lay down your shields in solidarity with us. It's not us versus you, and it never was. You're our neighbors. You people are mothers and fathers. You're following unjust orders. You're following unconstitutional orders. Do not follow them. We're begging you. You're not our enemy. We don't want to fight you. Stand with us. I mean, we need to get the ruling class out, you know, and it behooves all of us to do so. We're not really moving forward as a country, and we haven't in quite some time. You know, let's get our country back. And then because the United States is so different, you know, and I use this reference all the time. Our greatest ally, England, has no First Amendment rights, none, no freedom of speech in 2014. Think about that. We're unique. We're worth fighting for. Our country, the future of listen, I don't care what cliches you've heard. And I don't give a damn what language you've heard that separates us. When those people come along, tell them, you know what? That's great. I fight for you too. When you talk to the people that say it can't be done, you know what? We don't need them. We never have. The 3% are the 3% because the last time we needed revolution in this country, it took 3% of the nation's population to do it. How many people do you think they pissed off this time? How many? How many people do you know? Are you pissed off? Or are you happy with the status quo? Do you think it's okay that this is how we're represented around the world? Listen, if you're on the internet, talk to some folks around the world. Hey, what do you think about America? What do you think about Americans? They'll tell you, I think Americans are stupid and weak, and they have every right to say it. Those people are politically engaged, and they understand, and they all come from a higher level of education than we do. Most Americans aren't aware there's more than 2 cases in English. There's 6. If you are taught in the UK, in the EU, all of that's from a British syllabus. You're taught all 6 cases. Not to mention the countries are so close, all of them speak multiple languages. Think about that. That's how far behind we are. The ruling class took control of the Department of Education a long time ago. That's why we have Common Core now. When people talk about the dumbing down of America, it's because it's real. You know, we don't deserve that. We deserve better. And think about this. The ruling class, they all come from an Ivy League education. All of them. They come from Purdue, Yale, Harvard, Cornell, Oxford. They're all Ivy League educated. They all come from the same groups. Their families all know each other. Look into Capitol Hill cronyism, 2013. Nepotism. That's when you hire either your friends or your family. It's unbelievably high. And because politics have not been fashionable for so long, nobody gave a damn. And look at no wonder the politicians run around doing the shit they do. We didn't give a damn. This is our responsibility. This is our fault. We did this. The American people. And it's probably not your generation that did it. But did you step into this and inherit this pile of shit? Yes. Is it your job to clean it up? Yes. Should you be concerned with how the future of America remembers you? That's up to you. I can't tell you something like that, but I can tell you this. I will be remembered as someone that did not settle for the status quo, tried to do everything he could to freaking change it. It's not just for myself. This has to be for everyone. This has to be for everyone. Even the people you don't like. You know how you do that? You know how you show that? Even if you can't leave, if all you can do is make phone calls, send emails, post events, post pictures, post videos, then do that. If you are able-bodied and can get out to the events and freeze with the rest of us or burn up in the heat with the rest of us and sweat, then do that. It's worth it to you. We don't protest because we believe that the ruling class is all of a sudden going to go, oh, wait a minute, look, they're protesting. We should probably quit what we're doing. No, none of us believe that. We do that to show people we have a voice. There is a voice. There are options. There is a choice. You can make a different choice. This promotes and recruits. It brings solidarity and a larger understanding of our entire situation. When more than one people come together this way, when the American people have come together historically, we didn't just change our nation, we changed the world. Now, let me ask you this. if we got control back of our country, do you think we would continue to let happen what's happening, where our troops are everywhere in the world fighting everybody all the time? No. Creating more enemies? No. We'd get our people home. We'd help our neighbors. We would embrace the new technologies and not the antiquated internal combustible 4-cycle engine that was considered antiquated 40 to 70 years ago, you know. And now we have the new solar technologies and all of this that we don't embrace, you know, but Germany has and Canada has. And look what Iceland did with their government. People, we can do this. And nobody else has the right to. And nobody else is going to. No one's going to save America. Nobody. Nobody's coming. And trust me, if they come, think about that. Think about the UN bringing foreign troops into here to set our government straight. Is that okay with you? If it is, you can just stop watching the video right now, because all I'm going to do is offend you further. That should not be okay with any American. This is our home. This is our homeland. Nobody has the right to clean up our house and our mess but us. Now, are you going to do that? Are you going to be an officer that lays down a shield with us in solidarity? Are you going to be a citizen that for the very first time in your life decides, you know what, maybe I'll at least give it a chance. I'll give it a shot. Nobody wants to go anywhere to be anarchists. That's not what we're doing. We want to come together, every single group, every single organization. You have your own rules, your own hierarchy. We get it. We understand. We don't care. Bring everybody. Bring everybody. And I say that we do it on the 4th of July, on our independence. I say that that's when we take it to Washington, D.C. I say that's when the police lay down their shields. I say that's when we change the game. That's when we change the rules. It's our country. Why not? Why not? That badge only means that you're here. You're an American. Your choice is to be with us or not. If you're some government shill that will do everything you can to break this up, to say, oh, everybody's a bunch of criminals, or, you know, they're going to wreak havoc, whatever, come to me. Come to me. But I want your best. Don't send me any of your slouches. I'll own them quickly and expose them for what they could never be in a moment's notice in front of everyone. I want your best. Let's do this. Go ahead. Are you going to try to convince us that we don't see what we see? Are you going to try to convince us that we don't feel what we feel, that the country isn't spiraling the drain? I mean, what in the hell do you possibly think you could say to any of us? We are free. We will remain that way. You have nothing. You never have. But it's time for the American people to realize that too. They've held things over your head that don't even exist. It's time for you to do what you believe is right. Not because somebody said on a video. What do you think? What do you honestly believe? Do you believe that they make, write, and pass and sign and ratify laws that say that you're a terrorist and can be killed or detained indefinitely in your own country? Dude, do you have any idea what that is? During the times of socialism and communism around the world in peacetime, more people have been killed and detained in secret prisons than all of the wars combined. We live in a Google age. It's not as if you can't look that up right after I say it. Look up the numbers for yourself. You need to discern this for yourself. You need to know this for yourself. You need to believe this for yourself. Because if you don't, we don't want you within 100 yards of us. You have nothing to do with us. You don't understand what it is you're losing. You don't understand what this country is about and why it's unique and why its people decided to come together a long time ago and say, listen, we can even have differences that make us dislike each other, but God damn it, we'll come together every single time to fight for our homes, to fight for our homeland. Where is your spirit? I know that it's there. I know that it can hear me. I'm not alone. Bring your courage. Will you live in this type of enslavement? And before you think anything else, listen to this. The Federal Reserve that controls all of your money is neither federal nor reserve. It is a private bank. It is if I owned your nation's wealth, me, and my friends. That is exactly the situation that you have. Do you believe that you deserve better? Do you believe that maybe your your money should be backed by a better standard? Do you believe that your children, your grandchildren deserve to grow up in a place that is telling them socialist, communist, Marxist, fascist idealism that has only the interest of taking away their rights and their freedoms? We used to be the country of innovation and spirit. We're broken. The hearts of the American people are broken, and they've been broken by a ruling class that doesn't give a fuck. That's why you see Anonymous. That's why you've seen the climate change, not just here, but around the world. Everywhere, every city now, you're seeing protests and rallies pop up. There's all these different causes. Well, God damn it, I say we all come together. I say that it's time. I say that you're going to lose your country if you don't. You can choose to do nothing. You can choose weakness. You can watch the rest of us fall because there wasn't enough of us. But God damn it, we will not fall as slaves, and we won't fall with fear in our hearts. We will die as free men and women. We will be put behind their goddamn barbed wire, but we will be free. That's the only way that we've decided to live. I will not squander my country. Too much has been sacrificed. Too much has been given. And say it was all built on a falsehood. I don't give a fuck. What can we create now? What can we do now? What if time has called and you did nothing? And then everyone that ever could remember you will only know you as a miserable person to hate because you couldn't fight when you didn't fight when you could have. And now they can't. That's the point. Go ahead, be comfortable. Go to work. I promise you that when they've taken everything this country ever had to offer that was good, you will still have your job. You'll still have it. That type of enslavement doesn't come with a break or a vacation. It only gets worse, but we can make it better. It's our land. These are our communities. This is our country. It doesn't belong to the police. It doesn't belong to the ruling class. It never has. We can remind them and we can take it back. You stand and you fill the streets and you don't let commerce happen. You block everything from happening. They have no choice but to listen. They can't do anything else. We're not fighting them. We just want our country back, and the ruling class has to leave. They need to know that it's worth it to us. Unite Ohio, Anonymous, 3% Zone 6 Irregulars, and the 3% nationwide. Guardians of Society, OCM, Awakened Cincinnatians, Forgotten Country, Columbus Freedom Rally, Overpasses for America, 345th Southern Brigade, Ohio Patriot Bikers, the Citizens to Repeal Common Core, Amy Wicks, who works with people who are in prison and people to stay out of prison. Thank you. The Pinup Patriots, the Solutions Institute, Know Your Rights Toledo, Live Truth Radio, the Big Plantation out of Pennsylvania. Amy Wicks is In the Name of Justice, Anti-Monsanto. There's a lot of groups that I'm forgetting. These are people that we've worked with. All of the online radio patriot, all of the, man, I don't care. I don't care if you just, If all you do is sit at home and share things, we appreciate that too. And we just want to thank anybody who shares this. If you believe like I do, if you see what I see, then help me, please. This is probably about as real as it gets when your government is just hell-bent on taking all of your rights. Our protests won't be anything unless it's everybody. Anonymous isn't your enemy. Bikers aren't your enemy. And if you're a niche group that you protest Common Core or anti-Monsanto or end the Fed, all of you belong with us. All of you. Militia, these are your Americans using and exercising their rights. They need you there. They want you there. We are requesting officially your presence to stand with us in any state, in every state, in DC. Your citizenry is calling on you to stand with them in solidarity of them using their rights, whatever it is. And in this case, we want the ruling class out. We want our country back. So send it everywhere. Send it to the police. If you are a person that does send it out, send it to the police. Send it to the feds. Send it everywhere. You know, yeah, I'm going to be put on a list. I understand. What are they going to do if 100,000 of us put videos together? They're going to put 100,000 of us on a list? Okay. And then what if those 100,000 people generate another 450,000? Then there goes their list. What are they going to do if we all do it? I mean, this is easy and free. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do what I'm doing right now. You got a computer, you got a little camera on it. There it is. You can do this. Anybody could be me any day of the week. Let them know. One of the last thing is our methodology. We're going to bring back an idea that's over 225 years old. It's called paper bullets. We've been talking about it for a while, but we've been unable to do so. We're going to incorporate it here because this is most important. We're going to create one file. It's going to be one flyer. And it's going to be circulated by all of you, anybody who sees this. Paper bullets were actually dubbed that by politicians because if a guy moved into a town, and this is 225 years ago, and someone knew that he was a swindler and he was running for office or he had gotten some seat in office, someone would publish an article about him and it would just assassinate his career. Because back then, they would all meet at City Hall with torches and pitchforks and make sure you left that night. And then he'd have to go to another town and think about doing it again. Well, those crooked politicians named those articles paper bullets. That's what we're going to do. One paper bullet. This has never been done before. One paper bullet, one flyer that goes out in your neighborhood, wherever it is you live. It's going to say the same thing from New York to Washington to everywhere. And we're going to have a simple message asking everybody to converge either in DC or in their own major capital city in their state. And everyone do it together, citizens and groups of all kinds. With the goal of demanding the ruling classes to leave. Whoever they are in your city, in your state. And if you have other members of other boards that you want out, demand it. Whatever it is in your state. Listen, no one else is going to clean up your state, your city, your town. No one else is going to do it. And no one else has the right. It's you or it's nobody. So what's it going to be? Here's how we do it. We demand everybody stays safe. Everybody goes home. We send out the paper bullets, the flyer for everybody to disseminate in their areas and let the entire nation know. And we'll plan to do it over one night. One night was when we'll start. And You can just let that flyer get copied and put everywhere all the way until July. And that's going to be the methodology. Last but not least, our own military. We want you on board. You're our sons and our daughters. You're our moms and our dads. We want your help, and we need your help. As a citizen who organizes for a living, I can tell you the tone of the people, the pulse of the people is on our military helping us get our country back. We're tired of you being sent to die. We want you home. So, police, military, citizens, everybody, all the groups, whether you're Columbus Freedom Rally, Unite Ohio, Overpasses for America, Ohio Patriot Bikers, it doesn't matter, whoever you are. Anonymous, excuse me, Anonymous Akron, Anonymous Toledo, Anonymous Canton, Anonymous Cuyahoga Falls, Awakened Cincinnatians, Anonymous Central Ohio, Anonymous, MISS. It's everybody. So there it is. That's the plan. Everyone goes home. We want the police to lay down their shields. We want our military to either obey our stand down order or to join us in ousting the ruling class, our national, Washington, D.C., federal and state ruling class. That's it. Everybody, America, let me know what you think, or don't. And hopefully, maybe, you know what? If you have a better idea, then make a video, tell us. That's what we need, is we need everybody. I'm one freaking guy. I'm nobody, so we need your ideas. We need everybody's ideas, But I mean, if this is something that you agree with, if this is something that you believe, then you're with me. That's it.